Shrek is not a hero. Sure, he may have done some heroic acts like rescuing Princess Fiona and save 2 kingdoms, but he is not a hero. He is selfish, antisocial, and would do anything to have his way, including committing crimes. Shrek may have gotten away with some of the crimes he committed because he is a big, scary ogre, but he doesn't scare us. So let's talk about what happens if Shrek is convicted and punished for his crimes. Shrek is first seen by sneaking up on a group of people. He revealed himself when they were talking and announced he had fluids that flowed from their eyes. Then he roared at them, which made them run away like a bunch of chicken.
Right. Do you know what that thing could do to you?
Yeah. Yes. Well, actually,
They're much worse.
squeeze the jelly from your eye.
Back! I warn ya!
This is the part where you run away.
Shrek criminally intimidated them, and it will get him 5 years in the slammer. They were puny humans, and he was Hulk. Sorry, Shrek. However, I don't think Shrek would go to jail for this offense because those people not only trespassed into his property, they were planning to unalive him. So what Shrek did can be classified as self-defense, but that doesn't mean he is off the hook. He just had to commit another crime. Shrek is considered a magical being and the ruler of the kingdom of Duloc where he lived. Lord Farquaad issued orders that magical beings in his kingdom be arrested and resettled in a facility. I know the discrimination angle to the arrest is pretty messed up, and Shrek let them know that it was. Well, kinda. When the soldiers of the kingdom came to arrest Shrek, he didn't go with them.
You there! Ogre! By the order of Lord Farquaad, to place you both under arrest and resettlement facility.
You in what army?
Resisting arrest would have gotten him about a year in jail or $1,000 fine or both, but Shrek wouldn't get jail time for this. He only asked a question and the soldiers ran away because they were afraid of him. Who wouldn't? Shrek is really huge and grumpy. Honestly, I wonder why Donkey wasn't scared of him. Donkey even followed him when he walked uninvited into Lord Farquaad's castle and ruined Farquaad's stanchions in the process.
Wait a second.
He would spend 1 year in the big house for committing trespassing and another year for vandalizing Farquaad's property. The reason Shrek went to the castle was because he wanted to complain to Farquaad about the magical creatures Farquaad had dumped on his property. However, Farquaad wasn't ready to hear Shrek out and asked that Shrek be killed. Ordering Shrek to be killed when he had a complaint is way too harsh. Shrek didn't want to fight, but he had no choice with the soldiers wanting to attack him. So he had to fight off and injure 15 soldiers. He even destroyed a beer barrel in the process.
Can't we just settle this over a pint? Come on!
Shrek's got some fighting skills. The Rock would be proud of him, but Homer Simpson wouldn't be happy. Shrek wasted that much beer. If he wasn't defending himself, Shrek would have gotten 10 years for each of the 15 counts of assault and another 10 years imprisonment and a $250,000 fine for destroying that huge beer barrel. Finally, Farquaad decided to talk to Shrek, and they struck a deal. If Shrek wanted those fairy tale creatures out of his property, he had to help Farquaad rescue Princess Fiona from a fire-breathing dragon so Farquaad could marry her and become a real king. Shrek took the deal, and on his way to rescue the princess, he passed through a crop farm and began tearing up crops to eat. As he explained to Donkey that ogres were not monsters that people think, that there was more to them. The irony, explaining you are not a bad guy but stealing at the same time.
I don't get it, Shrek. Why don't you just pull some of that ogre stuff on him? You know, grind his bones to make him bread. You know the whole ogre trick.
Oh, there's a lot more to ogres than people think.
He will get extra 6 months for that theft and a year for the trespass. Finally, Shrek got to the castle and told Donkey that he read in the book that the princess was going to be in the tallest tower in the castle. I know, Shrek reads, he isn't just a simple green grumpy guy who enjoys pushing everyone away. He has layers truly, and those layers saved him when the dragon keeping the princess in the castle threw him right into the wall of the tallest tower where the princess was. Well, that certainly made his trip easier, but ouch.
I'll whip they butt too.
Well, at least we know where the princess is.
Unfortunately, Shrek again committed trespass. At this point, he is addicted to that crime. However, this time he is not going to spend a year in jail, considering the fact that he was trying to rescue Princess Fiona, a victim of kidnapping. He hadn't even finished rescuing Fiona before going to rescue his companion, Donkey, who the dragon had kidnapped. The dragon had fallen for Donkey and was about to kiss him against his will. Luckily, Shrek intervened, and the dragon had to kiss Shrek's green butt instead. Yuck. Shrek's butt is green, but it's definitely not a salad.
Well, you gonna tear it off. I don't get it.
Shrek should get around a year for sexually harassing the dragon, but he was trying to save Donkey, who the dragon was sexually harassing. Maybe Shrek did well there and the dragon got what it deserved. Good boy Shrek, or maybe not, because after rescuing Fiona, she discovered that Shrek was an ogre and refused to go with him until her Prince Charming came to pick her up himself, as if Farquaad was ever going to leave his castle. Shrek didn't listen to Fiona and picked her up against her will, saying he was going to deliver her to Lord Farquaad.
I'm a delivery boy.
Dare. Ah! Put me down or you will suffer the consequences! Down!
Shrek might just want to keep his deal with Farquaad, but he basically kidnapped Fiona, and that gets him imprisoned for 20 years. Although the two got off on the wrong foot, Shrek eventually fell in love with Fiona and decided to tell her how he felt. However, Fiona was about to get married, and what did Shrek do? He rode the same dragon he fought with to the wedding. Talk about traveling in style.
Go ahead, have some fun. If we need you, I'll whistle. How about that?
Him riding a fire-breathing dragon that can unleash terror on anyone at any time into Farquaad's castle makes him a terrorist and would get sentenced to life in prison or death. Add another 1 year to that for the trespass he also committed. Shrek then barged into the church, making an unreasonable amount of noise as he interrupted the wedding. His actions created a massive tension, and he tried making jokes to ease that tension and awkwardness.
Eat! Oh, now what does he want?
Having a good time, are ya?
He can take those dry jokes to jail when he does 1 year for trespass and another 6 months for disorderly conduct. Shrek managed to express his feelings to Fiona and told her that Farquaad wasn't her true love and only wanted to marry her so he could be a king. Fiona also felt the same way about Shrek and decided to reveal her big secret of being ogre to everyone.
Well,
Her revelation shocked everyone and disgusted Farquaad, who immediately ordered his guards to arrest both Shrek and Fiona. Farquaad's soldiers managed to arrest Shrek, but he kept on resisting them. After resisting a bit, Shrek managed to free himself temporarily and whistled so Dragon and Donkey could come and help him out. The pair came and helped him out by Dragon turning Farquaad into an evening snack. Did she think he tasted delicious?
I will have order!
I'm a donkey on the edge. Celebrity marriages, they never last, do they?
Shrek resisting arrest would add another year or $1,000 fine or both to his sentence. That's small compared to the 20 years he would serve as punishment for the second-degree murder of Farquaad and the 20 years he would get for treason. Farquaad might be a villain, but he was still the ruler. Eventually, Shrek got married to Fiona and his wife's parents called them over to their kingdom. Shrek didn't fit in and he began to feel insecure about his looks. He found out a way to be good-looking, but he needed a potion from Fairy Godmother for that. Shrek decided to go see her in her facility without an appointment and took Donkey and his new pal Puss with him. He lied to the receptionist of the facility that he was from the government so he could get in. Pinocchio would be proud of that lie.
To see the fairy godmother. I'm sorry she's not in.
That's okay, buddy. We're from the Union.
The union?
Electrical industries, both evil and benign. Are you feeling at all degraded or oppressed? They don't even have dental. I think it'd be better if the fairy godmother didn't know we were here. Huh? Stop it.
Of course.
Shrek trespassed into that facility, and his green booty could spend a year in jail or pay a $1,000 fine or even do both. He would get 15 years for committing identity fraud with his lie about being a government official. If only Shrek's crime would stop at that. The fairy godmother refused to help him, and Shrek took matters into his own hand. He beat up, locked one of the workers in a storage room so he could steal their clothes. Him beating up and locking up that staff means he'll be in jail for a year for assault. Add 20 years for false imprisonment and a maximum fine of $10,000 to that, and another 6 months for stealing. That ought to teach, bro, or maybe not, because Shrek and his companions broke into the fairy godmother's potion room looking for the potion he needed. He asked Puss to steal one for him, but Donkey messed up and they got discovered. Then Puss tried to quickly get the potion Shrek wanted him to get, and they ended up destroying a lot of other potions.
Donkey, keep watch.
Keep watch.
No, try handsome.
Hey, how about happily ever after? It says beauty divine.
Donkey!
Shrek has earned himself 25 years in jail for committing burglary, and for the destruction of those potions, he would be going away for 10 years and have to pay a $250,000 fine. Shrek, trying to escape with what he burgled, pushed a large vat of potions on both security and staff, turning them into animals and magical creatures. I don't even know how to begin to classify these set crimes, but he destroyed property again, and that would get him 10 years and a $250,000 fine. The vat of potions on security and staff can be described as an assault on that, and that gets him himself 10 years each for the number of people he poured the potion on. Shrek managed to escape the facility and entered into a barn he saw.
Shrek, don't worry. Things just seem bad because it's dark and rainy, and it'll be better in the morning. You'll see.
That's another year for trespassing. The potion worked on Shrek, and showing off how his new looks, Shrek showed more than he should have.
New me.
First things first. We need to get you out of those clothes.
The ladies were impressed with his package, and that package comes with a year in jail for sexual harassment, but I doubt those ladies are going to be reporting him for his crime. These next guys definitely would. Shrek's idea of getting new clothes involved robbing some travelers for some.
Other wig and step away from your drawers. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Father? Is everything all right, Father?
Thank you, gentlemen. Unless, of course, I can't find you or if I forget.
Shrek looked regal in his new fit, and he would look even better in prison uniform when he gets sentenced to 20 years for robbery. Not that Shrek cares about going to prison. He has this habit of feeling untouchable. Maybe this was why he felt confident that he could dine and dash when he discovered that Fiona's dad was working with the fairy godmother to manipulate his daughter into marrying Prince Charming by slipping a love potion into her tea. What kind of a father was Fiona's dad? What he planned with the fairy godmother was definitely a crime.
It was all just a stupid mistake.
I hate Mondays.
Oh, come on now. Is he really that good looking?
This isn't making me feel any better.
In the back. Thank you, Mother.
Mother!
A talking horse!
However, this video is about Shrek and his crimes. For eating and running away, he is going to spend 93 days in jail for that crime and would have to pay $500 in fines. When the king realized that Shrek had learned his secret plan with the fairy godmother, he ordered for his arrest. However, Shrek wasn't just going to roll over and let the king's soldiers arrest him. He ran away riding Donkey, who is now a horse. Shrek evaded arrest, and when the soldiers caught him, Shrek still wasn't going to let them take him. Even though he didn't have that big ogre energy, he still struggled with the soldiers before they were able to eventually subdue him in the end.
Got a white Bronco heading east into the forest, requesting backup.
It's time for the break. Will they get away with it?
Catnip. That's no mine.
Hold on, I'm her husband, Shrek.
Nice.
Shrek is one tough guy, and he can continue being one in prison when he gets convicted 3 years and pays $10,000 for evading arrest, and also a year in jail for resisting arrest. The soldiers jailed and chained Shrek up for his offenses. I don't think they charged him to court or anything, which is definitely unfair. This was part of the reason his friends decided to sneak into prison and bust him out of jail. The major part was Fiona was about to be tricked into marrying Prince Charming, and Shrek had to stop it.
Totally mad.
Donkey?
Too late.
Get us out of here!
It's a thong!
All right, here we go. Hang tight.
Ow, ow, hey!
Do you still know the Muffin Man?
Pinocchio has got some moves, but wait. Was he wearing a thong? Why did a wooden boy wear a thong? I wouldn't let that distract me from the fact that escaping from jail has added 5 more years to Shrek's sentence. Shrek decided to disrupt the fairy godmother's plan, and he chose to do it in style. The first time he crashed Fiona's wedding, he used a dragon. This time Shrek decided to use a big cookie monster that destroyed people's property, fought soldiers, and terrorized the kingdom.
No, you great stupid pastry.
Oh, the pretty pony! The pretty pony wants to play the
For this act of terrorism, Shrek gets the chair, and I'm not talking about the chair to the kingdom. Not that Shrek would want that anyway. He is too Shreky to be king. Shrek managed to stop Prince Charming and his mother and became a regent when Fiona's dad got sick. That ended in a disaster, and this motivated Shrek to look for another heir to the throne after Fiona's dad revealed that Fiona had a cousin named Artie, who was also in line to be king. Prince Charming took over the kingdom in Shrek's absence and wanted to kill Artie when he and Shrek returned. Charming captured Shrek and was about to kill Artie, but not on Shrek's watch. Shrek threw his chains around Charming's sword and pulled it towards himself, grunting in pain as Charming stabbed him. Charming was boasting, thinking he had won, but Shrek stood up and told him to aim better with his sword. Then with one hand, Shrek threw Charming and Dragon, dropped a prop tower on Charming's head.
Now, all of you,
You need to work on your aim. Well, I guess you need to keep looking.
Me?
In another scenario, Shrek would have been guilty of second-degree murder, but he was just defending himself here, so there would be no conviction for him. Shrek may have been on the right side in that situation with Charming, but by now, you know, the ogre isn't the kind of guy that'll avoid trouble. Everything was going smoothly for Shrek. He was popular, people loved him, but he wasn't happy. He missed the good old days where people were terrified of him and he had his privacy. So he made a deal with Rumpelstiltskin, who had reality-altering powers. Rumpelstiltskin created a timeline where Shrek was feared and had his privacy. Shrek began to scare everyone in the kingdom, from kids to adults and even animals. He crashed a wedding, tore off a sign from a business, and used it to skate on roofs. Shrek was on a roll of bad deeds, and he entered into people's property and ruined a date. To him, he was having fun, but to everyone, he was a menace. Jonah Jameson would have a fit seeing how Shrek was behaving. I would have called all of this terrorism, but Shrek didn't intend to kill anyone, but he did rack up the crime punishment bill here. He would be punished for 1 year for each of the trespass offenses he committed, and I'm just getting started. Intimidating a duck counts as animal cruelty, and Shrek would get 1 year in jail and pay a $1,000 fine. He would also be imprisoned a year each for everyone he scared and intimidated, and would pay a $1,000 fine per person. At this point, Shrek would need a bank loan to pay for all of these fines. Would any bank even loan him any money? Shrek tearing off a sign and skating on roofs are acts of vandalism, and they would each get him a year in jail. Maybe he would learn gratitude there, because why did he make such a deal with Rumpelstiltskin? Shrek realized that he messed up with his wish, and that Rumpelstiltskin only wanted to use him so Rumpel could become king. Shrek tried to get Rumpel to change everything back, but Rumpel said no, take backsies, and ordered his army of witches to arrest Shrek. Greenbro wasn't going to let the witches take him, so he evaded them and took Donkey while doing so. He fought the witches and destroyed the palace so he could escape, and in doing so, he badly hurt the witches.
You got exactly what you wanted! Get him, witches!
Sure, Rumpelstiltskin manipulated Shrek, but he is still king, and his orders are valid. So Shrek running away from getting arrested counts as evading arrest, and it will get him locked up for 3 years and cost him $10,000. Fighting off the witch pleas counts as resisting arrest, which means Shrek would spend another year in jail, and causing those witches to get harmed counts as assault, which gets Shrek a 10-year conviction for each of the witches he assaulted. For the property Shrek destroyed, that's 10 years and a $250,000 fine. Shrek managed to escape the witches with Donkey, but in this timeline, Donkey didn't know him and wanted to run away, but Shrek held Donkey against his will.
Just take my wallet! Hey! Just take my wallet! I'm being asked now!
Need to calm down.
What he did was definitely kidnapping, and Shrek would get 20 years for it. Shrek became frantic about fixing things, and he discovered he could do so with a true love's kiss. Problem was, his true lover, Fiona, who led a group of rebel ogres, was still cursed and didn't believe in love. She didn't even remember him, so Shrek tried to force her to kiss him.
Have to do is help me get a kiss from Fiona.
What are you doing? A gift basket?
You're welcome. So, let's see what you got. Skunk-scented candle. Coupons. Good for 1 free kiss.
Look, I don't know what this is all about.
I am sorry. No hard feelings, an apologetic hug, and a quick kiss goodbye. Ow!
That's harassment, green guy, and you'll be getting a year in jail for that. Shrek eventually accepted that he wouldn't get his old life back, but this didn't stop him from joining the ogres and leading them to overthrow Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpel may have been a bad leader, but Shrek committed treason by what he did, and that gets him 20 years. This concludes the video, and the final sentence for the boy Shrek is 400 years in jail time, life imprisonment, a death sentence, and he would pay about $1.5 million in fines. If you want to see more baddies go to jail, click the video on screen now.